Could 2v8 become a permanent game mode in Dead by Daylight? The short answer is no. But in this video, I'm going to break down exactly why and what's really stopping Behaviour from making it work long term. A lot of people like to say that Dead by Daylight is the largest asymmetrical horror game. And sure, that's technically true, but that doesn't tell you how big the player base actually is. Horror as a genre has a smaller audience compared to shooters, MOBAs, and sandbox games. It often relies on a cult followings to survive. Dead by Daylight is no exception. According to Steam charts, DBD averages between 30,000 to 40,000 players per month on PC. For comparison, Marvel Rivals sits at 100,000 on the low end, Apex Legends averages about 90,000, games like Fortnite, PUBG, and Minecraft have hundreds of thousands if not millions of players. So even with a big IP crossover like Five Nights at Freddy's coming in June, the bump in activity isn't going to be that substantial and will also likely be short-lived. Most players would be coming for Springtrap, not a 2v8 game mode. But here's the core issue. Dead by Daylight simply does not have the player base to support a 2v8 mode consistently. Let's say we take that 40k from Steam and multiply it by 5 to include PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and Epic Games players. That gives us about 200,000 globally, being very generous. Now divide that by 36 servers. This figure is based on an old Reddit thread, and you get about 5,500 players per server. Of course, some regions can cross over, like in the Americas for example, but that's still not a large number for online matchmaking, and that's not even getting into the fact that not all 5,500 players are on at the same time or on the same days. The standard game is designed around the 1 killer to 4 survivor ratio. That balance is what keeps matchmaking running, even if queues can still get long. But with 2v8, you've got more players trying to play killer and it throws everything off. Suddenly the system that's been tuned for years no longer functions efficiently. There's not enough people playing survivor. That's why queues spike and why the experience suffers. Unfortunately for Behaviour, the window to properly support 2v8 has already closed. Player retention in gaming is heavily front-loaded. If you're gonna roll out ambitious features like new game modes, you need to do it during peak player activity. A perfect moment would have been right after the first Resident Evil chapter. Dead by Daylight saw a huge spike in players around the same time. But trying to cultivate a new audience almost 10 years into a game's life is nearly impossible, especially without a major innovation or a complete overhaul. And while Dead by Daylight doesn't have direct competition in its niche, gamers are always chasing the next big thing. Even veteran streamers mix in indie horror or pivot to other genres entirely like Marvel Rivals. Behaviour had a great idea, but they waited too long to act on it. That's why we're unlikely to ever see a long-term 2v8 game mode in Dead by Daylight. What do you think? Could Behaviour still grow their audience enough to support multiple game modes, or has that ship sailed? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like and subscribe for more Dead by Daylight content.